Hey there, Bloomers and friends. Rev Kev coming to you from Bloom in the Desert Ministries worldwide headquarters here on El Cielo Road next to the Palm Springs International Airport. Well, la-ti-da, here we are. This is us in the middle of this happening place now that the season has begun and the roads are more crowded and the parking lots are more full and the restaurants have lines. And it's cooler in the morning, and I fell down on the ice the other day. All of this is great and part of the season, and it's a part of the wonderful aspect of the first part of January. We've got folks here for the film festival. It was great to have some people in church last Sunday that are here for the film festival, and you know, it's just great when people are here, and we're getting people from all around the country to visit Palm Springs and come to church at Bloom. You know, and as a part of the ministry of the United Church of Christ nationally. That's what a church like ours has as an advantage, actually, because we're a destination congregation for many people that are, you know, committed and covenanting people with the United Church of Christ. And so that's a wonderful thing. We get people from all over. We have people from a lot of different backgrounds. Yes, we get visitors that are people from elsewhere in the United Church of Christ. We, at the same time, get visitors who have had no experience whatsoever with the United Church of Christ, and some of those people stick around, and wonderfully and lovingly they become covenanting members of Bloom, so that we have a very, very diverse congregation when it comes to religious backgrounds. It is kind of amazing. We run a spectrum, you know, both Catholic and Protestant. We have people that don't have a Christian specific background. We have people that have come from non-Christian backgrounds, meaning they've been Jewish in their, you know, in their life and continue to be Jewish. And we have people that have become Christian later in life. As a sense of growth and understanding and a sense of inner spirituality developing in them, and all of that is wonderful. We have people that never went to Sunday school, and we have a lot of people that went to seminary. We were looking the other day, we were thinking about having a group form just about quarterly or something like that, just of people of, you know, retired pastors that are in Bloom, to retired ordained pastors in Bloom to get together. And the thing that is amazing about that is that we got about a dozen. And, you know, there's not a lot of churches like that. And the fact of the matter is most of them are active in some way or another in the life of the congregation as people, not in a clergy manner, but as in covenanting members, and supporting and being a part of Sunday morning and being a part of other kinds of activities in the church. And that's pretty wonderful. The thing about Bloom is, with all this diversity, is that it's very hard to know what exactly is our quote-unquote dogma. And dogma meaning, you know, the set of doctrines, the set of beliefs. What is it that it is? Well, the beautiful thing about the United Church of Christ is that the concept is united and uniting. And so it's a matter of we don't really deal with one another by what separates us, but it's by what we have in common. So how are we uniting in our commonality in any one effort in what we're doing? A particular place where that comes to play is in the sacraments. We have different understandings of the sacraments and how they function in our church. Now, we're a typical Protestant church with two sacraments of Holy Communion and baptism, but even the meaning about those two can vary in what people think about that based upon the learning and the learning they had, the experiences they've had, and the understandings that have been developed over the years. We have an opportunity this Sunday to talk about that a little bit, in the sense that the way the story goes, Jesus is born, you know, it's really compressed in what happens. We bounce around in the Jesus story in the beginning of the lectionary season, but this Sunday is the Sunday when it's recognized that Jesus is baptized. Now, those who might remember know that Jesus was not baptized as an infant, but that Jesus was baptized by John in the River Jordan, according to our traditions, as the symbol of the beginning of his ministry. And it's kind of the handoff of the baton from John to Jesus. And a sign comes from the skies, as the gospel writers tell us. And that's the beginning of Jesus' earthly ministry, which he carries on through our traditional understandings for the next 3 years. The fact of the matter is that that sense of baptism is very different in our understandings of what that means for people. And in the United Church of Christ, the factor is that we are not focused on one particular doctrine about baptism, but have an understanding that baptism is something that has personal meaning as well as church-related meaning. Now, you can go to the UCC website and find out what the UCC thinks about baptism, and some people might come away from that feeling a little frustrated because it isn't really hard to nail down, but it does say that we join in having an understanding of baptism with the Christian church around the world, and we want it to be that we understand that the baptism that people receive in the United Church of Christ is as valid as any baptism anyone receives anywhere. And so that's also an aspect that we're not really in the rebaptizing business like some churches are, but it's a sense that baptism is an action that was taken, it's a movement of the Spirit, and it's really something God does rather than what we do when there's that connection with the person and the Spirit through baptism. And in that sense, it's once and done. It's once and it's effective forever. I'm going to talk about this a little bit more on Sunday. You can't do a whole class in a Sunday morning sermon, but I do want to talk about the variety of thinking that we have about baptism in our life on this particular Sunday when we remember how Jesus himself was baptized as a part of our gospel stories. So we hope you can be with us. And if you can't be with us in body, please be with us in spirit. And as always, please keep us in your prayers.